welcome back to another episode of the Ruck Infringement Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Joey, and this is episode 104, Fallen Kingdoms. With me today, joining me all the way this week from, let's say, GIO Stadium in Canberra, is Ryan the Dongle Fancy. How are you, mate?
Cold.
Cold, yeah, I bet.
Cold in GIO.
Got in pretty quick.
Bit upset, yeah. It's okay.
That's all right.
It's over and done with on Thursday. Yeah, true. Over and done with that on Thursday, so it was all right.
Yeah.
You get to enjoy your weekend.
Exactly. Plenty of Denzel Frothington then.
Oh, yeah,
after
good
that.
time. Yeah,
love
absolutely,
it, love it. And, of course, all the way from Combank Stadium. Look, he's not feeling very, very good today, but it's Josh the Saint. Bradley, how are you, mate?
Good. How are you, Joe?
Mate, fantastic now that you're here. We can't say the same for your football team. None of us this week, actually. But, yeah, it's great to have you boys with us. Of course, Harry and Luke over in Thailand, we'd just like to give them a big congratulations. The Glenmore Park T20 side, what were their names? The Silly Sloggers?
GP Silly Sloggers.
GP Silly Sloggers. Shout out, they won back-to-back. They won the premiership again. Harry, player of the match, boys. 3 for 2, I believe it was.
3 for 2 off 1 over.
Yeah, fantastic
Absolute
figures.
legend over there.
Yeah, so the international cricket sensation has done it again. He keeps the name for another year. Fantastic. We don't have to change his nickname.
That's good.
Yeah, it's very good. I
man.
got nothing else, It's either that or Butterfingers. So, yeah, so he'll keep the international cricket sensation for another year. Anyway, I'm your host, Joey. You know me very well. I'm still here. Let's get straight into it, boys. Of course, you can find us on all social media at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and, of course, YouTube as well. Boys.
You forgot the Patreon.
The Patreon for
Ryan.
For only feet. Is
Only
that what they call
feet.
it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right, Ryan's
only fancy
feet.
feet. Yeah, that's
Fancy
it. Yeah.
Very, very good. All right, boys.
do
Let's
it.
rip in. All right, we're going to go into the Ruck Report. Quick preview of round 5. Now, I did do the Ruck Report last night on Instagram Live. I'm really sorry about the audio quality and the video quality. My internet was lagging, and so the first half was me going. So we will go through that right now.
Choking back tears, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just me talking about the Roosters game, pretty much. It wasn't actually laggy internet at all.
No.
But let's go back to Thursday night, boys. Of course, Ryan's favourite game, the Raiders against the Sharks. Raiders getting it done 24-20. Now, the big talking point in this game, that last try, it's got to come down to almost going to be try of the year this year. I mean, we're only in round 5, but it's got to be in contention, Ryan.
It was impressive, yeah. Wasn't too surprised. Honestly, if the Sharks won that, that's one of those victories where you know that you didn't really deserve to win.
Yeah.
Raiders were pretty hard done by. I'm probably the first to admit that, we had all the calls go our way as far as the refereeing decisions go, and we still couldn't get it done. Yeah, it's a very hard watch. It was just piss poor. Yeah, so when the Raiders scored in the end, I guess it was good for the Raiders. Yeah, if it was any other team, I'd be pretty stoked for them, but unfortunately, went to bed. Yeah, not a happy chappy.
That's the happiest I've ever heard someone about the opposition defeating their team. So,
gotta be humble, mate.
Mate, you've done very well there.
Stay humble.
Josh, the Sharks, mate, 2 in a row now. Contenders or pretenders?
Ooh.
Come on, hit Ryan with it.
You know what? At the start of the season, I would have said contenders.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
But just that last few minutes just pushed them back into the pretender bracket.
Yeah.
Like they were last year.
Oh, yeah, true.
Ever since that grand final win, I reckon they've been the pretenders.
It's going downhill. Yeah.
Good.
It's not great.
It's a good podcast. I really enjoyed it. We should start a boxing podcast,
right? Geez.
But blue corner and red corner. Boys, the Sharks, look, for me, it's the halves. I just think Trindle is taking too much ball from Hines. I don't see Hines getting the ball enough.
No.
I think it might be time to mix up the team a little bit. Maybe bring Atkinson in. We saw what he did with Trindle last year.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind seeing Atkinson, Trindle, and maybe Kennedy still makes way. And we try Hines at fullback. They got to try something.
Yep.
We'll talk a bit about that in our talking points. But let's jump into our first Friday night game now. Boys, I was in Anna Bay over the weekend, so caught glimpses of the game. Obviously, I've watched all the highlights. I've caught up, so I'm ready to go. But incredible stuff here. The Cowboys getting it done 22-18 over Penrith. That's now 4 in a row for Penrith. That's right. I did say 4 in a row.
You did. Yeah.
Crazy.
4-peat.
4-peat. So for all you Panther fans who say the 5-peat's on, yeah, maybe this week when you lose to the Dolphins again. But look, Penrith looked like they had it in this game, leading by 6 at halftime.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then what a second half by the Cowboys. They just came back, winning the sales. They made Penrith. Wouldn't say look average, but it wasn't great. It wasn't great viewing though for the Panthers fans. Unfortunately, I think Jackson Purdue scored a brilliant try there in the second half. He put them right back into the game.
You have him in a multi?
I did, yeah. I had him in a multi. Yeah,
nice.
We haven't discussed that yet.
No, I would have had him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not a gambling man, but if I was, I would have had him.
You would have had Jackson Purdue.
Sure,
absolutely, yeah. I think just the head-to-head there kind of got me with Penrith, but
happens.
that's all right. But massive though for the Cowboys, 2 in a row. I mean, like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about maybe putting a line through them, and here they are. Getting it done.
A piece of silverware from the top drawer.
Yeah, that's
potentially, but maybe not now.
No, just not yet. There's still other teams drinking. The guy to my right, he's in contention this year.
Yes, my team's definitely in contention, mate. The Dragons not so much. I don't know why you'd mention him, but you know. I love it.
We're not up to that game yet.
Josh, Peppers, 4 in a row. Dolphins this week. Surely now it's starting to be panic stations.
Oh, maybe after this week, I reckon they could put a whole game together. The last 2 weeks, they've played a second half. They played a first half this week.
Yeah.
Maybe a first half. This
it ain't even in performance, you reckon?
Follow it up with a second,
with 2 full games, hopefully. But no, I reckon all I have to say for the Panthers is lift your leg. That last try, that disallowed try at the end there.
Yeah.
Or pass the fucking ball, Casey McLean. Jesus.
I reckon hopefully they can get up over the Dolphins, but who knows?
I hadn't tipped them all year heading into this game. I fucking tipped them. And look where it got me. I'm not tipping them the rest of the season, that's it. I make a statement right now. Not tipping Penrith the rest of the year.
Fins up next week.
Fins up, baby. That's it. Might be on the fins.
Cut to one of the later segments.
We'll just see how many beers we consume by the end of the week to decide who I'm actually taking. But look, Panthers, credit to the Cowboys. Really, really well fought win there. 2 on the trot now for them. They did look like wooden spoon contenders a couple of weeks ago. Maybe not the case now. I mean, there is a long way to go. But let's jump into the second Friday night game. The Rabbitohs v the Roosters. Rabbitohs getting it done 20-14. Look, not much to really say about this one. Bunnies, all heart.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that, but they were all heart. Lost Cody Walker, lost Jamie Humphries early. Yeah,
Humphries
really
first
early.
Couple of minutes, wasn't it?
So lost their 6 and 7. They lost Ravalawa as well on the wing.
Yep.
They were down to 14 men. Latrell moved to 5'8". And then he put the final nail in the coffin with a forward pass that went over for a try for South Sydney. But forget the forward pass. The Roosters still let it slip again. 3rd week in a row where they've led and haven't been able to finish it off.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's kind of put a damper on the game. Yeah, the whole forward pass that sort of decided right at the end there, but it's still a great game. Otherwise to watch, like really high intensity, good impact collisions and things like that. Like it was great watching. Again, like for Jamie Humphries, unfortunately went out nice and early. Would have been good to see him stamp his authority on the game.
Sure.
I think the Rabbits had a real chance there to sort of put some points on and really work on their for and against. But the Roosters just kind of never went away. But then again, they still have their fair share of players that come back as well. So
it's always such a good game, isn't it? I mean, and you could see why they couldn't get rid of Jai Gray and move Latrell back to fullback. Jai Gray is so good at the moment. Yeah. He's leading the WM count as well at fullback.
He extended by 5. Yeah,
incredible. So he's doing great. I think Latrell may play 5'8" or centre for the next few weeks. So I don't think he goes back to fullback yet.
No,
I think especially with Cody gone as well.
Yeah, I read an article today and it was saying he's training 5'8" this week. So I think he might be slotting back in there.
Yeah, a couple of kicks out on the full, which was great to see from Latrell.
Yeah.
But
a few on the other team as well, unfortunately.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Chad, Mr. New South Wales Cup next week, big guy.
Yeah.
Look, Chatty, like he's just, I don't know words for Chad. Like I really liked the signing at the start of the season. I thought it brought experience to the club, but he's just over it.
Yeah.
He just looks over it. He just looks like he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be in New South Wales Cup so he can retire on his own terms. He'd be a good Super League player, I tell you.
Yeah,
Maybe
true,
he should fuck off over to England and chance his arm, hey?
He's working on his beer company, isn't he? Yeah, he's got a...
Yeah, he's got a podcast.
No, he does,
He's got a podcast called The Chad Townsend Show.
We should get him on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You'd love to talk to him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. At the moment, this season. Josh, the Roosters, 3 losses in a row, looking second last at the moment. Do you think the critics are right, or can the Roosters get out of this slump?
Roosters will get out of this slump. I haven't ever really liked the Roosters, honestly. Sorry, Joe.
That's all right.
But
that's what we thrive on. Josh's hatred.
But yeah, I think they can get out of this slump.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, I reckon, to make that 8. I know it's earlier in the season, but
We'll be there.
I reckon you'll be top of the bottom, I reckon.
Very nice.
If not just sliding in.
That's the hope I needed. Of course, our next 3 games, Broncos, Panthers, Storm. So good luck to Roosters fans out there.
Oh, there's an easy one there.
Yeah. Mate, Broncos are playing good footy. What are you talking about? Let's jump into the first game of Super Saturday. And we've just gone bang, 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 all 3 of our games straight up. This one, the Eels v the Dragons. Now, I was out at my dad's birthday lunch out at Port Stephens there. Beautiful Bob's Farm we went to. Nice little winery.
Yeah, saw the Facebook looked nice.
Yeah,
mate.
really nice, mate. Really nice. And while I was there, I kept track of the game. Obviously didn't watch it, didn't want to upset any family by watching the footy at a family event, whatever.
Yeah, right.
So I kept up to date, and Dragons were up, and I thought, they're going to get this done easy.
Yep.
I think it was 20-12 at one stage. And then with about 5 minutes to go, I looked, it was 22 all, heading into Golden Point.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe what I saw. And then nailing the coffin, Zach Lomax, kicking the field goal against his former club. Ryan, what did you think of the game?
Great, great to see finally. Parramatta get on the board. Very happy with that.
Yeah.
Like I said last week,
Not going to say we picked it,
yeah, we did, did say last week, a little soft spot there for Para. So it was good to see them win. They just wouldn't go away, would they? They were great. Yeah,
Typical River Slugs.
Yeah, River Slugs. They did well. Yeah, I think Yongi in the fullback role there for Para, he played really well. They pointed it out a few times. Like I was watching NRL 360 before I came over here tonight. He made the try-saving tackle right there towards the end when the Dragons made the break down the left-hand side. He made the try-saving tackle, and then they kicked sort of behind the defensive line, and he'd already made his way back past. He'd ran another 30 metres on top of doing the chase already, and he was able to get the ball dead. So
it's been good to see because he was touted as such a big thing coming through, and everyone said this is going to be a year of Vayongi. He's come through the Penrith system.
Yeah.
First 4 games didn't really have that effect.
Yeah.
But this game, he really came into his own. I thought Dylan Brown was a lot better too in this game.
Yeah.
Hasn't been great this year ever since signing for Newcastle for next season.
No.
I thought he was really good too. Let's throw over to the man, the Saints now, mate. The Dragons look like they had it won. Clint Gutherson, a double. Yep. Great to see that against his former club. But, mate, what did you make of their performance?
It's just back to how it was a couple of years ago, where I watched every game. Every game I watched, they'd be up. And then in the last say, 20 minutes or so, they'd end up losing, either letting in 4 or 5 tries or actually going to Golden Point like this weekend. And, just took me back to a couple of years ago. Wasn't very happy with them. No,
I can imagine, mate. I'm sure Shane Flanagan won't be either. The look of horror on the players' faces at the end of the game tells you that there's going to be some whipping in the shed.
Yeah, but it's sort of settled that they just lost to...
look, this is an R-rated show, so we can't talk about what goes on when Flanagan gets the belt out. But, look, if I was a Dragons player...
it's going to be a tough week of training, I think.
I'd just tell my wife it was a recovery session. But let's jump into the next Saturday game, and it was the Titans against the Dolphins, the Tits against the Fits.
Yep.
And Fits getting their first win of the season, 36-10. Incredible win in this one. Josh, I was out for dinner during this at Hoggies. Had a nice steak, bit of pork belly as well. It was a really nice meal. But while I was there and looked at the big TV that was in front of me, and the Fits, they're in front. Mate, they demolished the Tits. Take us through it.
Oh, I don't know really what to say.
Yeah.
Just Finn's actually gelled for once. For once this season.
Miracle.
They finally showed it. But yeah, just nothing else to say really. Finn, apart from Finn's up.
Yeah, love it.
Fins up.
Ryan, the Tits, you think they got shy? Usually it's Tits out for the boys,
Yeah.
but they just went back in their shell.
Yeah, I think that was probably the upset of the round. Yeah, I think everyone had Titans. I'd have rode them all the way home. But yeah, awesome to see the Dolphins get up finally. Yeah, so they're off the bottom. Every team, like we've said before, every team now has a win. Good to see the Dolphins gel together, finally do what we maybe thought the Dolphins can do a bit more of, like not just get pumped every week. I think with the hammer in the team, they should be getting scores on teams. Yeah, maybe not the Titans, but
I mean, Titans have been
it's hard
good.
to read. Yeah, because
Titans
they
won
have
two in
been
a row.
great. Yeah,
2 in a row heading into this game.
Yeah.
And at Seabuzz Super Stadium on the Gold Coast as well. I just expected the Titans faithful to be there, to be riding them hard. But, man, I was really disappointed in Jaden Campbell. I thought he's been really good the past couple of weeks and just couldn't get going in this game.
No.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, Tits down for me, but Fins up, baby. So
Fins
it was
up,
really
baby.
good. Let's jump into our next Saturday game. It was the Broncos against the Tigers. Now, Josh went the underdog in this one, took the Tigers, and at halftime looked really good. Broncos at 14-12, 2-point field goal to Adam Reynolds. But in that second half, I think the Tigers just lost stamina. I don't know what it was, but the Broncos absolutely flew away, winning 46-24. Josh, let's start off with you, mate. The Tigers looked good early. I think it was just a lack of that experience with no Luai, or what do you think got him?
I was just about to say that. It was no Luai that got it that did it for him this week. Plus, Appy's kicking wasn't crash hot.
No.
Maybe Galvin should have taken over. Like I said last week, Galvin should do the kicking.
I think Galvin is he likes to do a lot of short form kicking. He's better at grubbers and 10 metres out from the line, which is what I think Appy was trying to take that more halfback role. But, I mean, Fainu wasn't bad. I would have just let Fainu have a crack. But, I mean, look, we know what the Broncos are forming to this season. They look the real deal at the moment. Mate, let's talk about Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds. Now, between them, there's about 650 games of experience, right? They're just getting better with age.
Yeah, and it showed, didn't it? Yeah, that was fantastic. There was a good little the chip and chase from Reynolds, and there was a great he's wound back the clock and he's pumping the legs, and then he went off with a hammy injury. Poor bloke.
That is
Poor
vintage,
bloke.
vintage Adam Reynolds. Pastoral Reynolds, I call him.
But that was that chip and chase was he's that sort of sealed it for the. There was no coming back for the Tigers, was there? Yeah, I think Fainu went down after that. It failed the HIA. I think the next set after that. So yeah, they were in all sorts of Tigers.
Yeah, and Samuel Fainu, broken thumb as well.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah, right.
Another injury for them, which is not great heading into round 6. But let's jump into our Sunday Arvo games now. This one was disappointing. Manly against the Storm. Storm getting it done 48-24 at Four Pines Park, which is supposed to be the fortress for Manly. And Ryan, it was anything but.
Yeah, I was at a mate's place, so I watched up to half time and jumped in the car and went home, got home and saw the score, and I thought, I have to watch this second half and see what happens here. And apparently the Seagulls didn't come out. They just decided, no, one half's enough. The Storm ran away with it. Once they took Pappenhausen off, and they kind of really
They got a couple of
took
tries.
took the foot off the accelerator there, and Manly sort of came back with a few late tries, but yeah, that was just very disappointing, wasn't it? Yeah, Melbourne were great. Jerome Hughes was fantastic as well. They really missed him and his guidance and direction, that team. But yeah, I think with him back, they're going to go back to kind of what we're expecting to see from Melbourne this year.
It's scary to see how good they are. Josh, Melbourne doing what we thought they would all do this year.
Yeah, it's just no change from the last, 6 years or so?
Yeah, 10.
Going back even further, really.
Yeah.
But last 6 years they've been up around the top 4, missing a couple of games here and there, but this year only getting the one loss the week before.
Against the
Happy about
Saints,
that.
beautiful.
But no, just back to how they used to be. I reckon they're going to be a strong contender.
Oh, yeah.
To take the minor out.
They got to. Boys, are Manly one of the most inconsistent and hardest teams to tip? One week they're absolutely on, then the next week they put on a performance like this. And I know no Turbo, but like last week Turbo went down and they win.
And they won.
Like it's so hard to pick with Manly. Like they're so inconsistent. The Dragons were like that last year, and that's no discredit to them, but they were. It was very much like win loss. So it was really inconsistent. I feel like Manly are like that this season. I think the Cherry Evans saga obviously isn't helping anyone. No. As much as he's saying it's business as usual, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
because you hear the crowd at the ground, like everyone was booing him, and I know they got pumped, but Cherry Evans has been one of their best players for a long time,
and he's still
playing his best footy.
Still playing. I think he is. I think he still is. Like he's still representing Queensland. He's still the Queensland captain. I mean, that for me, that's enough. If you're the State of Origin captain, you've got to be good, especially for Queensland and the dynasty that they've brought over the long period of time. But let's jump into the last game. The Dogs against the Knights. 20-0 for the Dogs. The Dogs keep on keeping on. Boys, interesting. Halftime 2-0.
Yeah.
Heading into the break, which was hasn't been seen in a long time.
No. Yeah.
And then it took a while, but then the Dogs really kicked into the gear line.
Yeah, they really did, yeah. And poor Newey didn't have much left in the tank to give. Yeah, they were down on reserves as well, so they made them work. But, I thought would have put a little bit of a bigger score on, but, 20-0, like keeping them to 0, I think would have been more better, or much more improved, or much better for their confidence, I think, going into next week.
It's classic Dogs, mate. Like this is what I know of the Bulldogs. It's that gritty, tough nature we talk about.
Yep.
And to keep their opposition scoreless would have meant so much to them.
Yeah.
Josh, the Knights had the bye last week. The week before that, lost to the Titans 26-6. Are the Knights starting to fade? Do you think that they've still got it in them, or do you think they're starting to die off a little bit?
No, I think they've still got it in them. This week, who have they got this week? We've got the Tigs this week. Look, it's going to be another tough one for the Knights. But yeah, I think they've still got it in them. Maybe not top 8 this year.
Yeah.
But maybe back to it next year.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I like the Knights. I thought Ponga, though, was nowhere, which is very unusual for them. Usually everything goes through him, so very unusual. But that is it for the Ruck Report, our quick review of round 5. Boys, let's jump into Dynamos and Dungs for round 5. Ryan, you want to start? Who was your best player? Who was your worst?
Dynamo, Jai Gray, again.
Very nice.
Fantastic. I loved him. Sebastian Chris, I thought, from the Raiders as well, had a great game.
And to finish off, get that try.
Right at the end there, he was just there. Made the Sharks look quite weak, actually, down Paul Ronaldo's side of the field. And Jerome Hughes. Yeah, I can't look past him. Yeah, he was fantastic as well. Dungs, I'm not going to bash the refereeing again, but that was just average, yeah. Sin bin in every game was hard watching, particularly when some of them were.
Yeah, the crackdown has
in the
started.
way that it was. Yeah,
we'll chat on that in talking points because it's pretty. It was pretty appalling.
Topic, but fucking made it hard to watch some of those games, didn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. Josh, Dynamos and Dungs for round 5.
My Dynamo, Ryan, you'll be happy actually. It's one of your boys, Ramian.
Oh, really?
Very nice. Very nice.
I thought you would have said Todd Smith. He was great.
He was good in the Sharks jersey, actually. Very good, Toddy.
Ramian this week just showed a lot.
Yeah.
Showed a lot of what he could do through that centre.
Yeah.
Just really impressed with him this week. And my Dung, tossing up between two teams actually.
Do it.
It's not actually either of our teams, Joey. Surprisingly,
it's Ryan's. The Dynamo is Ramian, and the Dung Ramian.
No, it's tossing up between Manly and Knights.
Manly.
Just after Manly's performance last week, coming back and doing this, I don't know what happened. Maybe it is just the loss of Turbo. But who knows what's happening behind the scenes. And the Knights not scoring. Just, come on.
To be kept scoreless in the modern era, it is hard to do.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen
Teams, and we talk about the crackdown on sin bins just quickly. We talk about the crackdown, so penalties are at a premium, and you get given penalties and 6 against all the time. So how is the team not scoring?
Yeah.
How is the team not getting over the strike with the amount of 6 against and penalties that are called in the modern game? It just blew my mind that they were kept scores. But great shouts, mate. Boys, For me, Dynamo comes from the Raiders game as well. Matty Nicholson, the second rower. And Hudson Young was really, really good.
Yeah.
But Matty Nicholson, I really like what I've seen from this kid. I think he's providing a lot of oomph there. Also, if I had to go to the other side, Britton Nickera scored 2 tries. Him and Hudson Young were just going try for try at the beginning of the game. So very good to see. One from a losing team, Siwa Wong from the Roosters.
Yep.
Wong had a massive game, about 150 metres, 40-odd tackles. In a losing team was absolutely
Big
incredible.
effort,
Great little ball out there to Rob Toyer on the right edge as well. Dungs now, look, it's hard to go past my team. I'm the harshest critic of the Roosters. We spoke on the chat before, but I think I'm going to go down a different route in this one, and I think I'm going to have to narrow it down to Manly, as we spoke on. And I think the reason I'm giving it to Manly is because not only was this a top of the table clash, but the Storm are their ultimate rivals. They have a massive rivalry with Melbourne. They've got a great record against Melbourne as well. And they just didn't turn up.
No.
At their home ground, in front of their home faithful, they did not turn up. This is a statement game. These are the games you want to win.
Yeah.
And look, to Manly's credit, it's probably unfortunate that Storm lost to the Dragons the week before, because I don't think that helped Manly. Because I think Storm came out wanting to prove a point after that loss. So I think if Storm had won the week before, it might have been a lot closer. But it was just poor. And don't get me started being a betting man. Garrick and Ola Kawatu was all I needed for a couple of grand. I got all the Storm boys, but no, of course, I don't score. It was my first ever bet in my life. I've never bet
First
before.
one?
Yeah,
You've done well then.
I'm not a gambling man.
Yeah.
You guys all put the multis on. I go, I don't even understand that at
no.
all. But yeah, that's it for our Dynamos and Dungs. Let's jump into our next segment. He's been doing it all game, so our suspension segment now. Look, lots of fines this week. Of course, we had the sin bin crackdown. And so there are a lot of sin bins, a lot of penalties given away. Mate, do you have some of the names there for us for the suspensions?
Yeah, shit, yeah.
I know Tino.
Going right through it. Tino, Corey Waddell.
So Tino had, he's guilty, early plea. Corey Waddell, of course, second offence. These guys, most of them will find out at Judiciary on Tuesday.
Crossland, that was, did you see that? His trip?
Crossland. Jacob Preston had one as well, of course, Kurt Mann as well, Ray Stone, Brendan Biakura.
Biakura's one was,
Jamin Jolliffe, Katoni Staggs, both for more. Will Penasini, Reece Robson. And this just shows you the crackdown this week.
Yeah.
Moses Leota, Hudson Young, Seb Chris, and Billy Burns. Now, that is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen that many players in 1 week on report for what they call high tackles. Careless high tackles. But very interesting there, of course. Our injury segment niggling as well. A couple of players, as we spoke about, of course. Fainu, he has a broken thumb. Lots of hamstrings. If someone can find who the sniper was this week, we'll give you a $1,000 reward, because there's about 13 hamstrings in this game.
Yeah, bring him to our next cricket match. Please.
Yes, please. And just don't miss. Don't shoot the wrong person.
Yes.
But look, there were so many hamstring injuries this week. I think I saw multiple players go off every game. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
So, look, we spoke about Souths, of course. Jamie Humphries, I heard today, 4 weeks. Cody Walker, I believe, was 5 weeks. And Rather Lower was 6 weeks. So
wow, that's
Souths
huge,
in a bit of trouble now, of course, with their halves gone. Can they keep churning out these wins?
Yeah.
Adam Reynolds, he's
free
cleared.
to face,
Yeah, beautiful.
Free to face the Roosters, that's good.
Fainu as well.
That's Latu Fainu, the halfback.
They've lost him. So he's HIA.
He's
so
HIA.
He won't be there this week. Jason Saab, he limped from the field late as well.
Mitch Kenny as well.
Yeah. So there's been a few. But look, that's it for, he's been doing it all game. So, and niggling. Boys, quick wild fantasies before we get into the rest of the podcast now. Supercoach this week, very good. I got 1,113. Of course, I had Jamie Humphries, who has been setting the world alight, but this week got me a fantastic one, which was a great score for Humphries.
Ran out, or is it?
Yeah, basically, and then was off in about 5 minutes. So, not a great score there. I brought in Jaden Campbell, who got me 23. Wasn't a great purchase there, but I think holding him, he'll definitely get me the points. But don't forget, this is brought to you by SC Rings. Now, The best championship rings going around. You can check out SC Rings at their Instagram profile or Facebook, and they are the prize holders for us for our Super Coach comp. And whoever wins and our NRL Fantasy comp as well, they will get their very own 2025 SC Championship Supercoach Fantasy ring. And they're very nice. They look like the Super Bowl rings you get if you're in the NFL. Yeah, so check them out, SC Rings. Fantastic sponsors there. All right, boys, it is time for the Profits Preview, round 6. So if you are tuning in for the first time, I'll ask the boys who's going to win, and they'll tell me who's going to win and possibly an anytime try scorer or just a prediction that they want to give. Let's get straight into it. So first game, Thursday night footy, going to be an absolute cracker. I can't believe we're into round 6 already.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, right.
Thursday night.
Stadium.
Yeah. Dolphins v Panthers, Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. Dolphins $2.86, Panthers $1.43. They've been favourites every week. I don't know how.
Yep.
But look, if I was a betting man, I mean, do we dare, Ryan, to jump on the Finns?
Worked for us last week, the Parrot, didn't it?
It did.
You know what?
Do it.
Yeah, Fins up, baby.
Oh!
Let's do it.
Yes.
Dolphins get the 2.
Oh, I love it.
Let's have it. Yeah, Dolphins.
Yeah, great. Edwards probably back for Penrith.
Oh, Edwards is back?
Yeah, probably, I would say.
Oh, you know what? I'm not going to change it. No, we'll stick with the Dolphins.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
Stay with the Dolphins.
Josh, who you got?
Panthers.
Just
Edwards back. With Cleary back as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game for the Finns to get up in.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me it's Panthers as well. This is the game that I can see they break the 4-game winning streak. I hope not, but I think they will. If Edwards is confirmed back, what he brings to this team in able to support Nathan in what Nathan does best.
Yeah.
And so I think having Edwards back will be fantastic. Brian To'o's only a few weeks. He might even be back this week too. I don't know if he'll get named.
I'd give him another week.
That they might against the Dolphins, especially. No discredit to the Dolphins. But it's Panthers for me as well. Let's jump into our first Friday night game. Oh, the Dragons against the Tits. The Dits against the Tits in this one. Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. Going to be an absolute cracker. Josh, can the Wits get it done?
It's got to be the Dragons.
At the gong.
Yeah. No, I got to go with my heart with that one. Dragons will get up over the Titans, maybe by 12 points, I reckon.
Yeah, very nice. Ryan?
Yeah, I'm going to Dragons as well. I think Dragons will get it done. I think Flano's going to let them get off easy after losing to the wooden spoon favourites, especially when they should have had all that confidence coming in from the Melbourne game. I think Dragons will bounce back pretty well, yeah.
This is a hard one.
It is a hard one, though.
I don't know who to tip in this. I mean, the Dragons lost last week, so history says that they'll win this week. But the Titans also lost last week, and they got pumped by the Finns.
Yep.
And Des Hasler, he's the mad scientist. He'll have a plan for the Tits, and Desi and Tits, when they get together, it's a big combination, mate. So, look, I'll jump on the Dargans in this one. I think they'll get it done just. I'm going to go Dargans by 2. Let's jump into game of the round. Broncos v Roosters. Suncorp Stadium again in Brisbane. They get 2 this week.
Wow.
Now, if I was a betting man, I would like to turn your attention to the Roosters at $4.45.
Oh,
very, very juicy odds there. Remember, we were $11 against Penrith. Broncos $1.21. Let's start off with you, Ryan. Who you got?
Oh, flip a coin here. Yeah. I don't know.
How much you put on the Broncos?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Put the house or the house and the car on it, yeah. No, I got to go to the Broncos. Sorry, mate. Broncos, they looked dynamite last week.
They did.
So it's going to be hard to stop them. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to take a massive effort, but to get it to stop the Broncos now, yeah. But I don't think the Roosters have it in them this week. I'm going to have to go to the Broncos.
They go big.
Yeah, go big. Yeah, we'll go 13 plus. Yeah, easy.
They scored 50 on them in round 1.
Yeah,
Already played them.
Oh, already played them.
At Allianz.
At
home.
Oh, it's not looking good there.
Good omen.
Yeah, good omen. Yeah, you reckon Roosters by 50? You reckon? Oh, that's your
Josh, who do you reckon?
I've learnt my lesson from last week. Not taking the underdogs in this game. Sorry, Joe. But in saying that, Broncos by 4.
Oh, he thinks it's going to be tight. Very nice. Well, you're both wrong. It's Roosters in this one. Roosters 13 plus. I think they get it done in a very easy game. Look,
try scorers.
I've got about 6 or 7 in my multi. We'll throw Tedesco, Crichton in there, Mark Nwangani-Tawaze, just because I love to say his name.
Yeah.
Rob Toyer. Let's throw Dom Young won't be there because there is talk this week that Chad Townsend is getting dropped and Dom Young as well.
Dom Young as well.
Yeah. He's just been a liability in defence. And Mark Nwangani-Tawaze will be moving out to the wing. Billy Smith was back last week, played really well. Play Smith and Toyer in the centres. Billy Smith is the other try scorer, and Daniel Tupou as well. Okay. Throw the whole back line in there for the Jooks.
Yeah, right.
So if you are a betting man, Roosters 13+. Let's jump into our first Saturday game. It's the Sharks against the Seagulls. Sharks $1.51. Optus Stadium. I think this one's in Perth.
It is in Perth, yeah.
Wow, exciting.
This next 6 weeks, Sharks aren't playing. Yeah,
and then Seagulls, of course, $2.56. Josh, who you got?
Oh, I'm hoping to get back into Ryan's good books here. Sharky
You never left, mate.
Thanks. Sharkies to win, I reckon. Just based off last week's performance.
Yeah.
Manly just didn't show up in that first half, really. Didn't show up at all, I'd say. Sharks take it by... I reckon it's going to be another close game, though. 6 points.
Nice. Ryan?
Yeah, I've got to go the Sharks, of course. Yeah, who would have thought? Yeah, who would have Sharks? I reckon Britton Nicker, though, gets a double again. Yeah,
I like it. He's such a good shout for a try scorer.
Oh, yeah, every time, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's almost a guarantee. Like,
anytime.
Where are the Sharks going to get any points from? And then next thing you know, Nicker has just done some weird freaking angle run.
Mate.
Yeah. Oh, you reckon?
Yeah, why not?
All right, Sharks to win. Nicker a hat-trick.
Oh, I love it. Look, it's rare that I agree with these boys. I don't like doing it, but I've gone the Sharks as well. I don't think they're going to lose 3 in a row.
Nah.
They will not be looking to that. I think Fitzy will have them up for this game. It is in Perth, so stranger things have happened. Rugby league is a funny game, ha.
Yeah.
But I'm going the Sharks in this one. Nicker for a try scorer. I'm going to jump Ramian and Stone Street in there as well. Let's jump into our second Saturday game. It's the Rabbitohs against the Cowboys now. Also in Optus Stadium. So
there we go.
Double header in Perth. So if you're down in Perth this weekend, enjoy.
Get at Optus, yeah.
Double header of rugby league. It's going to be fantastic.
The big buff.
Cowboys are favourites at $1.77.
Rabbits,
the Bunnies are $2.08. That's due to the halves being gone. For the Bunnies and Ravalawa as well. Ryan, let's start off with you. Who you got?
Oh, I don't think you can. I don't think you can write the Rabbitohs off that easy. Surely, I don't know. Depends on Trello, I guess. Yeah, if he shows up or not. Yeah. But then again, Jai Gray's playing dynamite as well. It's going to be. I don't know. Yeah. Look, the Cowboys nearly butchered it against the Panthers last week, so I'm talking myself out of them. Yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Let's just go Rabbits. Yeah,
nice. I like
Rabbits.
it.
Rabbits.
Rabbits.
Yeah, that's
Never
it.
thought we'd say that.
No.
Against the Cowboys, anyway.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
Josh, who we got?
Bunnies. Bunnies trying to stay in Shani's good book still.
Yeah, shout out to Shani, these two kiss asses here.
I completely forgot.
I'm going to say Bunnies by 13+.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're going strong this season.
Very nice. I like it. It's the Cowboys for me. I think they get it done over the Bunnies. I am not tipping South Sydney after last week. Sorry.
All right, Mr. Grumpy Pants.
Or to our South fans out there, I would say love you, but that'd be a lie. So I'm going to go to the Cowboys in this one to win. Cowboys in a tight one. Yes, they are, all right? Taking my bat and ball, I'm going home. Cowboys to win by 4. Jackson Purdue for a try and Latrell for a double in this game. Yeah, from 5-8. Our third Saturday game, we got another game that's going away from home as well. The Eels against the Raiders at TIO Stadium in Darwin.
Ooh, Darwin.
Northern Territory.
Right.
Now, boys, I'll give you a little stat that I know. Now, the Dolphins often play in Darwin. It's been against Dolphins, the Sharks. They don't like playing marine animals in Darwin because they lose every time they go to Darwin. So they are a marine animal themselves, but they can't play other marine animals. So Eels v Raiders. Josh, we'll start off with you. Who you got?
I got the Raiders this one. Dad supports the Eels. We'll be watching this one closely.
Yep.
Raiders take this one.
Very nice.
Close game, I reckon.
Close game?
Yeah, 4 points.
Yep. Ryan?
Interesting stat you got there. I like that, about the marine animals.
Yeah. Thank you, mate.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
There's no others, really, is there?
No.
Sharks, Dolphins,
Dolphins.
Eels. I mean, the sea eagle, I guess.
Doesn't really count. Yeah, they're not so good.
They go on the water.
Not so good.
Yeah. But who you got, mate?
I don't know. Again, flip a coin, yeah. I can't pick anything this year. I'm coming dead last in every
like that.
tipping column I'm in. So
Yeah, well.
let's just go the Raiders. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, very nice.
Sorry, Para. I think it'll be a bit closer though than those odds. What's that? 258 is it for Eels?
258 for the Eels, $1.50 for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Boys.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a bit closer. Yeah, then maybe they're leading on. I think the Raiders will just get it done.
Don't do it.
I'm going to back the Eels in for a second win in a row. The Raiders, after that win last week, will be coming down from that and they won't be able to sustain it. Eels get the win. They break the stat. They break the hoodoo in Darwin. They get it done at TIO Stadium. Shout out to our Northern Territory listeners and viewers, of course. There must be hundreds of thousands of you all tuning in at the same time. So we appreciate you so much.
Is there hundreds of thousands of people up there?
Yeah, heaps.
Yeah.
I love hundreds of thousands. They're really yum. But Eels to win. I'm going the Slugs in this one. Slugs by 2. And I'll throw Katoga. He was really good for them against the Dragons. Katoga for a try. Zach Lomax for a try. And the Fox for a try.
Fox.
Yes, beautiful stuff. All right, let's jump into some Sunday Arvo footy. The Storm against the Wars, Amy Park in Melbourne. This is always a really, really good game. Who was the commentator? Oh, no, I think it was Andrew John. So, obviously, Joey Johns, he's immortal, right? But he's a bit cooked. Ever since he, did drugs while playing and stuff, he's been a little bit cooked in what he says. And he says, this is always a good game. The Warriors always turn up. Storm have won their last 20 against the Warriors, right?
I saw this today.
And
the
it's
stat,
right.
and
You're completely wrong, Joey. They haven't turned up for 20 years.
You got on the bogey team or something?
Yeah,
Like,
bogey team
so.
of Melbourne.
Yeah.
No, not going to happen.
Absolutely.
So let's start off with Josh. Who you got?
Hard to go past the Storm this game. Just Storm down at Amy Park. It's going to be a tough game for the Warriors. Yes, they've done all right so far this season,
Yeah.
but Storm are just better.
Yeah.
Storm are just always going to be better.
Yeah.
Storm 13 plus.
Well said. He's a poet.
Yeah.
Ryan, who you got?
He doesn't know it.
He didn't.
Up Storm by.
Call him Gus Gould.
Storm to win.
No, Storms.
Storms to win. Storms will win.
Because they're Storm, he'll put the S on them.
Well, he has to.
Storms.
Oh, there's multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Storm by, plenty. I reckon all the spinal score. Let's go. Grant,
Oh,
Munster, Hughes,
like it.
Big
Happy.
Puppy. They're all getting over.
They've been housing.
I don't know. Poor Warriors. But, it's going to be a tough game for the Warriors.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a
easy.
bloodbath. And again, it's not like me to agree, but I'm going Melbourne at Amy Park. I think they get it done in a big way. I can see a 50-point score coming, and if that is true, right off the Warriors, they cannot win the comp if there's 50 points put on them. So I'm going Storm in a big one. $1.17 though, the odds are not juicy.
Yeah.
I might throw a nice little tenner on the Wars just in case.
Just in case,
You know,
Don't want to miss out.
being the Storm's bogey team and all,
Yeah.
they may get a little victory there. So look, who knows, eh?
Save your money, mate.
Yeah. Shout out to Joey Johns, of course, avid listener of the show as well. And of course, our final. I would love to. Our final game for round 6, the Knights against the West Tigers. Already played this season.
Yeah.
10-8 was the score. Great game, that one. 4:05, McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. Ryan, who you got?
Yeah, another tough game. I'd like to say the Knights because, put on 0, put them on last, or the nil that was put on last night. That was they're gonna need to bounce back from that in a big way. But I don't think the Tigers. I don't see them losing actually. Yeah, so I'm gonna go the Teaks here.
I think it all depends. I think if Luai's back, it was 2 games, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2.
So he'll be out.
Yeah, he'll
so
be
Luai
out.
won't be there, and we saw that experience that they lacked.
Yeah.
I personally think they need to move Dewey to halfback. Now with Finu missing this game as well.
Yep.
I would move Dewey to halfback. That's just what I would do. I mean, I'm no coach. I'm just a prophet. But if I was, that's what I would do. Josh, who you got?
Yeah, I got the Tigs as well. Just after the Knights' performance this week, just didn't show much.
Yeah.
Tigers, in a losing team, still showed a lot in that first half. And I reckon they'll do it again this week, but make it a full game.
Yeah, beautiful. I'll back the Knights in this one to get it done at home, McDonald Jones Stadium. I think they'll bounce back. 2 losses on the trot. I can see Ponga for a hat-trick in this game. He's going to have a big game. I'm going on Ponga hat-trick. So If you are a gambling man, have a look at those odds. But please remember, gamble responsibly. And that is it for round 6. Of course, the doggies on the bye after winning 5 in a row. They now get a bye as well to reward them. So fantastic stuff. Boys, Lucky Ruckies, of course, friend of the show. We gave away some bottle openers. Of course, great friend of the show, Lauren Phillips, received one for her joke about the Roosters. We haven't had anything sent in, but don't forget you can send it to our email at ruckinfringementpod@gmail.com or into our inboxes at social media. What we want to hear from you is your favourite rugby league story. It can be really funny. We like funny stories. That's a hint. Just throw us funny stories and you'll probably win. Or a joke as well, a funny joke, not just, Ryan's wearing a Sharks shirt or something like that. I mean, I'll probably give you one for that. So you can try.
Yeah, bottle openers.
Free bottle openers. But a funny joke or a funny rugby league story. So go contact us now and go in the running. There are some amazing prizes coming. I'm looking at making some stubby holders, boys, at the moment. And also some ruck infringement mugs with our logo on it, which will be pretty cool. So, and they will all be up for sale as well. So stay tuned. But boys, let's jump into some talking points now. The first one I've got here, and very important, this one. Has the kingdom fallen in Penrith? No. What do we reckon?
Surely not. Nah, I don't think so. Not that quick since the 4 in a row, that whole dynasty.
It's only been a week.
It's only been a week.
It's that 4 in a row.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Yeah, well, I think once Dylan Edwards comes back, they're going to have a lot more direction. Cleary's can actually work with Dylan Edwards a lot better than what he has been working with Dane Laurie so far. So, yeah, I think once Edwards is back, and Tyro comes back as well, I think it's going to be business as usual for a fair bit again for Penrith. Yeah, I don't see it. The kingdom has fallen just yet, but once everyone's back, and if they're still not performing, not putting games together, then yeah, obviously I'd be hitting the panic button pretty quick. And, yeah.
Josh, what do you reckon?
Sorry.
That's a good answer.
Well, I think there have been a few cracks in the wall for Panthers this season, but as we know, they can fix that up quick, smart. Like, losing a couple of players doesn't matter to them. They will still perform and get back to where they were.
I saw something interesting, again, from our friend Joey Johns. Now, usually it's pretty cooked, but this one was actually spot on. And he said that Cleary is so used to the players around him knowing what he's going to do that he's still been playing at that level.
Yeah.
And he needs to remember that he's playing with young guys who are new to the team and don't know how he works. So it's time for him to step back and slow it down. And I think if he can do that and get these boys into that Penrith system that we know so well, and also for the first time in a long time, before the Panthers-Cowboys game, Ivan came out and said, you are playing for your positions. And then they lost. So it'd be really interesting to see if Ivan does make changes. Yeah. We know he's the sort of coach that doesn't tend to do that because they've been so successful over a long period. Will he make changes? Will they have a drop?
Yeah.
We'll find out this week.
It's a position he hasn't found himself in for quite a long time. So it'll be interesting to see how he...
Third last.
Yeah, how he puts all that together. Yeah.
Yeah.
A real headache on his hands there.
Absolutely. The other one, mate, I had was Shark Shake-Up. Now, we spoke about that a bit earlier. I would like to see Nico have a run at fullback. I wouldn't mind to see it. I think we saw what Atkinson and Trindle did last year when Hines was out, and they beat Melbourne. They beat Melbourne in Melbourne. Yep. We've no Nico.
Yep.
I think they could really work together because then Trindle can be the main playmaker. Atkinson can do what he wants to do at 6. Hines can be at fullback where we know he's got the speed. Yep. He can play as a third playmaker. Mate, as a Sharks fan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a great idea, yeah. But you just got to feel for Will Kennedy. He hasn't done much wrong this year, He's had a couple of blunders, I guess, on Thursday night. But, I guess everyone kind of did. Like, no one really played well for the Sharks. There was a couple, I guess. But, it's a hard one, though, yeah? Because, this Kennedy still belongs in that team, I think. Like, the Sharks are going to go far with Kennedy there somewhere. I do think, though, that Atkinson playing that 14 role is a waste. Like, he came on for maybe 20 minutes. I think he played lock for a bit when McInnes came off for a while. And then he sort of played like a third playmaker for a while there. Then he came back off. Like, I'm not really too sure like what the plan is there. It was kind of a waste of a sub for a while there.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? But I think at fullback he wouldn't do too bad. So I wouldn't mind to see him there. Yeah. Our next talking point, Josh, new sin bin rule.
Yeah. new sin bin rule. I'm not quite sure what the bunker and what the refs are going to actually do with it. Because it is a very fine line that they're dancing on, really. Are they looking at grade 1s, grade 2s?
They just, like this week, they just penalised everything. It was like a high tackle, sin bin.
Yeah.
Like that's not what it's for. I think if you can see that there's been severe contact with the head, fair enough.
If there's any malicious intent in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Like Tino's
one.
Tino's one was Tino's fucking 6'7", right? So he's tall. So when a player is falling, it's gonna look bad.
Yeah.
How does he pull out of that at 6'7"? How does he pull out of that tackle? He can't. And that's the quickest sin bin I've ever seen. It was like 2 minutes into the game.
Into the game.
But it's just like I don't know what the NRL are expecting. And I heard something today, and this is crazy as well. So obviously, coaches aren't allowed to talk about the referees, right? They get fined. The NRL want to bring out that talk shows like NRL 360 are not allowed to talk about the referees.
Absolutely disagree.
Yeah, I completely disagree too. Because when are the refs going to be held accountable?
Yep.
When are they going to be held accountable? It's us, the viewers, the fans of the game. And yes, we don't agree with it, and I get it, they're humans too, but they have to be held accountable for choices that they make on the field.
Does the NRL have the same thing that the AFL does, where the AFL coaches can go through the game, pick out certain clips,
No.
and send that to...
No way.
Maybe they should bring that in.
Yeah, Ricky Stewart will be sending them clips every week.
Just 80 minutes.
Sticky hates refs. And this one. And my player walked on the field.
Limit it to, say, 20 clips a game.
Yeah.
Like, I know Horse used to do 10 clips for the Swans.
What I hate about it is that it's like the refs are becoming untouchable. It's like there's this massive hierarchy in rugby league where it's players, fans, refs and CEO. Like they're up at that standard. And like you look at that game, the coaches have every right. So Des Hasler has every right to go, why was Tino sin binned?
Yeah.
Why was he sin binned when he is 6'7", blah, 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 what we just went through? He has every right to do that.
Yeah.
So why is he not allowed? And then why is Braith and Aston not allowed to be on 360 and go, look, the sin bin call was wrong, Buzz Rockfield will be there. He reports it in the Daily Telegraph. So what they're doing by this, to me, is they're trying to make a hierarchy where it's pretty much the refs against everyone else. Yeah. And like that's just going to cause more division.
Yes.
It's going to cause more division in the game. People already don't like what refs do. It's just going to cause more of that. But look, the sin bin rule, it's interesting. It's funny how they crack down on this, but yet a crusher tackle, which could be 10 times worse, would just be put on report.
Yeah.
No sin bin.
No sin bin.
So when are they going to crack down on bad tackles in general? They went through the hip drop a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Where it was like every time a player went down and the leg was underneath, hip drop. And it was a sin bin. Like, when was the last time you saw a hip drop now?
Yeah.
You haven't.
You don't see them now. Yeah.
You hardly see these tackles called. It's that word last week we spoke about, and I can't keep saying it, but consistency. People are going to call me Mr. Consistency in a moment because that's all we ever hear. But I just want to see the rules be black and white. Let's get rid of grey areas, keep it black and white.
Absolutely.
So anyway, it's too much seriousness.
I know.
Let's get back to the banter and the fun that we have on the Ruck Infringement podcast.
Oh no!
Sorry about all that rugby league nonsense. Of course, our last talking point, boys. Every team now has a win. Incredible stuff. The Dolphins won and actually moved ahead of the Roosters. So Roosters are second last, which is exciting. If you're a Roosters fan, stay the course. But yeah, that's really it for our talking points. I don't want to say anything else about them. It hasn't been a great time.
It's not good.
Look, it's so hard for me because obviously the Roosters no success. We haven't had a season like this since 2016. And then even before that, we hadn't had a season since 2012. Always making the 8. So to be like where we are, I don't remember 2016 much. I was pretty young. I was a young 20-year-old, so I don't remember a lot that happened that year.
Yeah, but alcohol.
I don't know what you're talking about,
mate.
Again, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a gambler. It doesn't happen. I'm just a loving family man. But yeah, so 2016, I don't really remember what happened. I think I was just busy that day.
Oh, yeah, Harold Holt made a comeback. Yeah.
He did. It was good. Leave the porch light on.
We sure did.
Sharky's getting the win. It was great. But yeah, the Roosters haven't run like this since 2016, and it's got very shades of that same year, so hopefully not. But boys, a quick ladder update heading into round 6. Of course, top of the table, the Bulldogs, 5-0. Now I heard a great stat as well this week. The last 3 teams to be 5-0 to start the year have made the grand final.
There you go.
So there you go. So
Buy your
Dogs
tickets.
fans,
Yep.
free up the calendar in October because they're going to the big dance. I'd love to see the Dogs there. I think it'd be really good.
They're $9 to make and win the grand final at the moment.
Well, that's not bad. That's pretty juicy.
Not too bad, yeah.
I might throw that on. I might put it on the Roosters too at like 101 or something. That'd be mad.
Betty Marcus close.
Try 81.
81, there you go.
Yeah.
Adam just told me the Roosters are a sure thing, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
10 on the
good.
Roosters to win the grand final. Thank you, Adam. Beautiful. Broncos second,
hunter.
Storm third, Warriors at 4th. That's the top 4 there. Who would have thought we would have seen that as a top 4? Of course, Rabbitohs, Seagulls, Raiders and Titans finish out the top 8 there. Into the second half of the top 8, we got the Knights, Sharks, West Tigers and Dragons, second half of the bottom 8. And then, of course, the Cowboys, Dolphins, Panthers, Roosters and Eels. Round out
Yep.
the ladder. Heading into round 6, it is only early days, so we still have 21 rounds to go.
Could be a long year, or it could be.
It really could be
exciting.
for some, and not so long for others. But that's it for our ladder. Boys, we're going to do a bit of Joey's Jumble before we finish off. Now, I have a points tally. Ryan, you're on 2 points. Josh, you're on 1. Harry is on 4.5, and Luke is on 3. I'm going to keep a tally towards the end of the year. Oh, sorry, and Reese is on a half, yes. Never to play again, so he's stuck on a half. Joey's Jumble for this week, of course, it'll all come from this round, boys. Are we ready? Your buzzer is your name. Do you
What's
want
my
to test
buzzer
your
again? Ryan.
Test your buzzer.
What is it again?
Sailor Moon.
Bobby.
Josh?
He's forgot his name. Yes, all right, beautiful. Right, our first question. Are we ready?
Ryan, yes.
Sorry, you don't get a point. You just get a well done.
That's good.
What was the final score between the Cowboys and the Panthers?
Josh.
Josh.
22-18.
Oh, he's got it. 1 point for Josh. Ding, 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 ding. We need a ding, ding on the producer table, producer.
Let's try that.
Next question. Are we ready? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, good answer.
Don't get a point for that.
No, you don't.
Don't want to answer it. You don't get a point.
In the Bulldogs-Knights game, who was the player that scored in their milestone? For the Dogs. It was a milestone game for one player.
It was
200th. 200th game, and he scored a try. Who was it?
Right, it was a Critter? No, he didn't score
Critter.
any, no.
No, Critter's about 22.
Yeah.
So he played like 100 games.
Fuck.
I'll give you a hint. He's played at 4 clubs. This is his 4th club. He's played at Melbourne. He's played at Dragons. He's played at Newcastle. And he's played at the Dogs.
Someone's probably... right, Kurt Mann.
Kurt Mann is
Yeah.
correct. Well done. Almost had the first one taken off him and then got
Yes,
one.
that's
so
right, yeah.
1-1. All right, the deciding question here to see who goes 2-1 into the lead. Okay, our third question. What team is coming last?
Josh.
Right.
Josh.
That would be the Eels. Still.
Oh!
Oof.
He's done it. Josh is the winner this week. 2 points to Josh. We'll add that to the tally. Ryan, you have 1 point. We'll add that to the tally as well.
Two. I got the... Am I ready?
No,
So-
you don't get a point for that. You can have a high five. Yeah, beautiful. All right. Before we finish off, we've got some viewer questions. I have saved them. Now, thank you for getting those questions in. Don't forget, when the post does drop on our socials, please get them in. We love to hear all of your questions. The first one, boys, I will read it out to us. The first one is from a guy on Instagram whose name was just Phil. And
Like Phil?
just Phil. And he
Am I
wrote,
cracking
what
or-
halves do the Dragons need, seeing they're getting Atkinson next year?
Oh.
You think they go with Atkinson and Flanagan or Atkinson and Ilias? Or do they keep Ilias and Flanagan and Atkinson plays at 14?
No, I think Atkinson will fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atkinson, Flanners, and then
Ilias misses out.
Ilias misses out.
Yeah, wow.
Jumps on the bench for us.
Big.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. I like it. All right. This question from a good mate of mine, Toby Thompson. When will the Roosters drop Townsend? Now, I'll answer this one. Look,
This week?
That is the mail. The mail is this week that Townsend is going to be replaced by Hugo Savala. He's played a couple of games earlier in the year just off the bench.
Yep.
Really good half. He got pulled out of New South Wales Cup this weekend.
Yep.
So he could train with the side, which usually points to
writings
him.
on the wall.
Yep,
Chad,
being dropped. So, Tobes, possibly this week to answer your question there. From our good mate Bergs, we know really well, Reese and I, from the NRL, the casual athlete, the sexier half of the casual athlete. Shout out to Longy and Bergs. He wrote, Joey, what are you doing September? I assume you'll be free. Ha 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 ha. Fuck you, Bergs. I will be.
And on this couch will be free.
Yes. Look, at the rate we're going, we'll all be free. You're now not invited to a grand final watch party, okay? All right? Not that we were having one, but if we did, you're now not invited. You're off the list. And you support the Cowboys, mate. You're on the way to a wooden spoon, all right?
They'll be at the final, won't they? Bulldogs, Cowboys. Yeah.
And another question from Dean Liddell. Obviously came to our 100th episode.
Yep,
Great guy,
yep.
Dean, Sharks fan.
Yep.
He said, who won in the Souths Roosters fight in the stand? So there was a fight in the stands.
I thought there was two.
I think there was.
Yeah.
But I would say that it would have to be the Roosters.
Interesting.
Well,
Interesting.
there'd be no teeth to knock out.
Well, that's what I mean, yeah. Like
Souths could have just
Yeah.
they wouldn't do much.
Nah,
We're trying to bite.
It's like gnawing.
It's really hard, hey?
Gumming, yeah.
Just be like a
Roosters
baby.
would have thrown some soy lattes,
Yeah.
which they would have got coffee burns. That would have hurt. But then the Souths fans would have just been like rabid dogs, and it just wouldn't have affected them much at all.
But it was in the stands though, because all the Roosters fans are usually up behind the glass, in the boxes
you
watching
are
the
right.
games.
Yeah,
So
true.
outnumbered.
South on South.
Next up, we're usually throwing notes down to the peasants.
Yeah,
down
that's it.
there.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
looking down.
Completely
So-
agree.
Oh,
No, interesting. I'll say Roosters win that, of course.
Let's agree to disagree.
Just like they won the game, yeah. Perfect. But that are it for our viewer questions for this week. Thank you so much. And that's all we got time for on the Ruck Infringement Podcast, episode 104 tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'd like to thank our sponsors in Gibsons Country Style Jerky, Stay Fancy Eyewear, Koala Mowers, SC Rings, TBC Live, and of course, at Print. Check them out. They're really, really awesome. I'd like to thank my co-hosts tonight in Josh the Saint Bradley, Ryan the Dongle Fancy. Thank you so much for jumping on, boys. Couldn't do this pod without you, boys. Of course, Harry and Luke, one more week, they will be back and raring to go. And of course, you'll definitely see these boys again. They'll be around and possibly jumping on as well, which will be great. Of course, to you, the listener, thank you so much. You are what makes this podcast what it is. We couldn't do it without you. To the viewers on YouTube, you as well. Thank you so much. Until next time, don't forget to check us out on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and X, Spotify, Apple Podcasts and YouTube. And give us a like, a follow, subscribe. Send us in any questions you have and give us a rating too. Until next time, I'm Joey. That's Josh. That's Ryan. Be good.